Chapter 1. The Kingdom of Ash and Iron. The kingdom of Blackthorn lay beneath a sky that rarely smiled. Smoke from coal chimneys curled endlessly above narrow streets, staining the heavens the color of mourning cloth. It was the height of the Victorian era, where iron ruled industry and power, and castles still stood as monuments to bloodlines older than memory. At the heart of Blackthorn rose Ravenmoor Castle, a colossal structure of black stone and silver spires. Its towers pierced the fog like accusing fingers. Within its walls lived King Aldrich IV, a ruler feared more than loved, cold, calculating, and obsessed with legacy. The king had one child, Princess Elowyn of Blackthorn. She was unlike the kingdom that bore her name. Where the land was gray, she was light. Where the castle was cruel, she was gentle. Elowyn possessed a quiet strength, eyes the color of winter skies, and a soul too soft for the iron world she was born into. But the king saw her not as a daughter. He saw her as a prize. Chapter 2. The Knight Without a Name. Among the king's knights was one who stood apart, not by rank but by presence, Sir Rowan Ashford. He was not born noble. His armor bore no golden engravings. His sword had been reforged more times than he could count. Yet when he walked, men moved aside. When he fought, men watched in silence. Rowan had risen from nothing, orphaned by factory fires, raised in the streets, forged by war. And yet, despite all the blood on his hands, he possessed a gentleness that did not belong in battle. It was this gentleness that Princess Elowyn noticed first. Their meetings were accidental at first, shared glances in torch-lit corridors, stolen moments in the castle gardens where roses grew against the will of the soil. They spoke in whispers, about books, about dreams, about freedom. And slowly, dangerously, they fell in love. Chapter 3. A King's Decree. King Aldrich saw everything. One evening, beneath chandeliers dripping with crystal tears, the king announced a decree that would shake the kingdom. "My daughter shall be wed," he declared, his voice echoing through the great hall. "But she will not be given freely. She will be won." A tournament would be held. Knights from across the empire would compete. Combat, endurance, intellect, and loyalty. Only the strongest, the most ruthless, shall claim the princess. Elowyn's heart froze. Rowan understood immediately. This was not about marriage. This was about control. Chapter 4. Love in Chains. Elowyn begged her father in private chambers lit by candlelight. "Father, please, I love another." The king's eyes hardened. "Love is weakness. You will marry the winner." That night, Elowyn found Rowan in the armory. Tears fell freely. "If you fight, you will die." Rowan held her face gently. "If I don't fight, I lose you." They kissed like condemned souls. Chapter 5. The Tournament of Ravens. The tournament began beneath storm-heavy skies. Steel clashed, bones shattered, blood stained the mud. Rowan fought like a man already dead. He defeated knights of noble birth, mercenaries from distant lands, even the king's favored champion, Lord Harren Blackvale, a monster clad in gold and cruelty. But fate was cruel. In the final trial, Rowan faced the king himself, not with sword, but with law. The final challenge was loyalty. The king demanded Rowan kneel and swear fealty above all else, including Elowyn. Rowan refused. Silence fell. The king declared him defeated. Lord Harren was named victor. Elowen screamed. Chapter 6. The Night of Execution. Rowan was imprisoned beneath the castle. Execution was scheduled at dawn. Elowen was to be married the same day. Rain fell like the world itself was grieving. In his cell, Rowan waited for death. Above, Elowen prepared to become a prisoner in silk. Chapter 7. The Miracle of Ash. At dawn, as the executioner raised his blade, the castle shook. A massive explosion tore through the eastern wall. Fire, smoke, chaos. Workers from the factories, soldiers who had followed Rowan, even servants of the castle rose in rebellion. The people had seen the injustice. Elowen ran. She reached Rowan's cell as flames consumed the stone. She freed him herself. They escaped through secret tunnels beneath the castle, hand in hand, chased by screams and collapsing walls. Chapter 8. A Crown. Left behind, Ravenmoor Castle burned. King Aldrich died beneath falling stone. The tournament meant nothing. The crown meant nothing. Rowan and Elowen fled beyond the kingdom. They disappeared into history. Some say they lived quietly. Some say they became legends. But one truth remained. Love was never meant to be won. It was meant to be chosen. The end.